Hello, Miss Williams. How are you doing today?
Good. How
It's
are
so
you?
good to see you again.
Yeah, you too.
Before I jump in, I must let you know that Jaden is such a sweetheart. I really enjoy having him in my class.
Good.
Yeah. We're going to talk about how things are going at school, but I'd love to know first before we jump in, how are things going at home?
Things seem to be going okay at home. Sometimes I wonder if he's a little bit too good, though. I know a lot of my friends with kids that are 2, they always complain about the terrible 2s, and Jaden really always seems to mind us. He doesn't even get upset if we turn off a video he's watching because it's time for bed, and he doesn't really seem to try to do a lot of things on his own.
Okay.
My husband is wondering if maybe we're babying him too much.
It sounds like you might be a little concerned. So, did you have a chance to fill out the milestone checklist that I gave you last time?
I did. I have it right here.
I actually have been doing the same thing here and keeping up as well. So why don't we take a look and just compare what we have?
Okay.
Looks like he has the motor skills. And in classroom, he loves playing with the ball.
My husband plays ball with him all the time. He loves it.
That's great because that's an activity that will be really great for helping further develop his motor skills. Let's take a look at the language section and see how he's doing. He knows all the kids' names in the classroom,
Good.
for sure. And he definitely points to things or pictures when they're named.
He definitely repeats words that he's heard in conversation. We know when we've messed up because we hear the same words come out of his mouth later on.
Well, kids at that age are like little sponges, right? So they just soak up everything, and some of the things that they repeat we're okay with, and then sometimes not so much, right? Yeah, I noticed Jaden, he follows instructions 100% of the time, and that is a little unusual at this age. Typically, kids at his age, they don't do that. They can be a little resistant, sometimes even defiant. For example, if another child is playing with a toy and you ask them to share and maybe give it back, they may get a little upset, maybe even throw a tantrum. And I don't see that reaction from Jaden. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, that's kind of what I meant when I said that I wonder if he's a little bit too good.
I hear you. I'm a little concerned about that as well. Now, I'll tell you that all children are different and develop at different paces. But at this age, Jaden should be a little bit more independent. And what I mean by that is, for example, pouring his own juice or reaching up and climbing to get something that he wants. And with Jaden, he may see something that he wants, but he might just stand there and look at it and wait until someone brings it to him or gets it for him.
Right.
So why don't we take another look at the checklist and see what else we see?
Okay.
I've noticed here that you've put a question mark next to plays beside other children.
Yeah, Jaden's an only child, and he's the first grandchild on either side, so I never really get a chance to see him with other children.
That's not unusual, and I welcome you at any point if you want to schedule some time to come and sit and observe in the classroom. You're more than welcome to do that.
Okay.
Love to have you. I've actually noticed Jaden playing beside other children, but I haven't seen him interacting with children. Have you noticed that?
I had a friend over recently, and she had a 6-year-old daughter. She was out in the yard doing somersaults, and Jaden went out and tried to copy her. Is that what this one is? Copies others, especially adults and other children?
That's exactly what that is, and it's super cute that Jaden was copying her somersaults. And as we talked earlier about his motor skills being so strong, I'm pretty sure he'll have that down pat really soon. Let's take a look at the cognitive section together. Jaden is doing a really great job of sorting his shapes and colors, but I also see that we both don't have anything checked next to complete sentences and rhymes in books, as well as plays make-believe. Does Jaden have a favorite book that he likes to read at home, or have you read for him at home?
He does. One of his favorites is a rhyming book about a bear. He'll ask me to read it over and over again. I always kind of pause and wait to see if he'll finish the rhyme, but he always just looks at me and waits for me to finish it. He has another one about trucks that we read a lot, and he'll point at the trucks and name them, or if he doesn't know the name, he'll just say truck.
So he likes for you to read to him, but he doesn't complete the rhymes.
Right.
Yeah. What about make-believe? Does he play pretend, for instance, like pretending like he's talking on the phone or playing house?
No, I don't really see him doing things like that either. There seem like there's a lot of things we haven't checked on here. Should I be worried? Is he behind?
I know you're concerned, but what I want you to know is that you're doing all the right things by tracking his development. I think at this point, the best next step is that we talk to the doctor. So I'd encourage you to schedule an appointment so that you can talk with the pediatrician.
Now that we've gone through the list, I'm worried. Could this be because of something that we're doing? Could we be babying him too much, doing too much for him?
I know you're concerned, Miss Williams, but I want you to know that you and Mr. Williams are great parents. Based on what you've shared with me today, you're doing all the right things to help Jaden along with his development. You shared with me that you're reading to him and your husband's playing ball, and those are the types of activities that are really helpful as we're trying to help Jaden along with his development. At this point, to find out more, I think the best next step is for you to talk to the doctor and express your concerns.
Okay, he is a little late for his 2-year-old checkup, so I've been meaning to call and make an appointment.
Great. And when you call and talk with the receptionist to schedule the appointment, let them know that you are concerned about Jaden's development and specifically ask that the pediatrician do a developmental screen.
Okay.
And to do that, the doctor will probably give you a sheet of paper that asks you some questions about Jaden and his development. And also, what I'll do before you leave today, I'll give you a developmental screening fact sheet so that you have a better idea of what to expect with that process. And let's be sure that you bring these checklists with you, both yours and the one, I'll make a copy of this for you so you can bring this one that we have at school so that the doctor can get a better idea of Jaden at home and at school as well.
Okay.
And then the results of the developmental screen is what will tell us if there are issues with Jaden's development. And if there are issues for Jaden, either you or I can call the early intervention program to see if he's eligible for services. Are you familiar with early intervention?
Yes, I knew a child who got speech therapy through early intervention, but I need to talk to my husband before I do anything.
Of course. And I'd be happy to talk to Mr. Williams or the both of you again together. Just let me know what you'd like. But in the meantime, I'd like to share with you a Milestone Moments booklet, which has milestones by age up to 5 years old. But in this section, it's also giving you tips for activities that you can do with Jaden to help him along with his development. So be sure to share this with your husband and you guys can work on that together.
Okay, great.
There you go.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I know I've shared a lot of information with you, Miss Williams. Would it be helpful if I went over a list of next steps with you again?
Yeah, that would be really helpful.
Great. Well, we've got notepads there if you want to take notes. So, of course, the first step is to talk with Mr. Williams and share with him the milestone checklist, as well as the tips for activities that you can do with Jaden to help him along with his development. Then you'll want to call the doctor to schedule the appointment and make sure that when you call that you ask specifically for the developmental screening. And you want to make sure that you bring the checklist along with you, the checklist that you've been keeping as well as the checklist that I've been keeping so that the doctor can get a good picture of how Jaden's doing at home as well as at school. And I think a good next step that will be helpful is if you review the developmental screening fact sheet that I'm going to give you to be sure you guys understand the process and know what to expect. You want to make sure you, before you go, make a list of questions that you have for the doctor in advance. One thing to keep in mind is the idea of calling the early intervention program. You don't need a referral from the doctor. And remember, if you have any questions, I'm here to help you guys along the way. I want to make sure that I'm here to support you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. These meetings are really helpful for me to be able to talk through Jaden's development. Now I feel more comfortable knowing what our next steps are.
And I appreciate you taking the time to talk with me about it. And it's a partnership. We're in this together. And so if you have questions, like I said, along the way or anything, I'm here to support both you, Mr. Williams, as well as Jaden.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
And when you guys are ready to talk and schedule another meeting, just let me know.
All right.
Okay, have a good day.